I'm going to show you how the church is magic and the parallels between paganism, church, and everything else. So anybody that is religious, if you have friends that are religious, this is going to be a perfect explanation of the alteration of consciousness that is occurring in mass, that is occurring all the time, everywhere. People are staring at TVs. It's no different. There's a magical thing going on. And I'm going to explain it. I'm going to show exactly how it works. It's so very obvious. So here you go. So you have your Holy Bible and you have your grimoire. It's the same thing. It's a playbook. And you have your altar and you have the church's altar. Do you notice all of the things that are going on behind the altar? Well, the difference here is when people are in Mass, they don't go up there and look behind the altar. But it's exactly the same thing. A couple candles, the liquid, the blood, the water, the symbols, the fire. It's the same thing. So what happens when a magician does it, when a pagan does it, or anybody, whatever you want to call the person that's in charge of that, what they do is they alter the universe for themselves and for people around them, usually for the better, but not always, who knows. But at church, what's happening is there's a group of people that are sitting in front of the altar. Or are they sitting behind it? I mean, they're not participating. They're being told. The magic is being done to them. So this picture here of this guy right here, that is the sigil. That is the mandala. That is the focal point. That is an imbalanced cross. And people that are into religion, they're always like, oh, they're upset with the people that put the cross this way. That's an imbalanced cross too. And then if you look at people that deal with paganism and nature, they put the cross in the middle. There's something different there. Nonetheless, what's happening here is someone is standing behind or in front of the altar, however you'd like to see it, and there's a group of people that are chanting in a circle, because it's where you get the learning that happens in school, because in school it's magic as well. The same thing is being done. It just doesn't have the same types of magical symbols. But if you look at a teacher's desk, what do you see on their desk? It's always the teacher's apple. Why is there an apple on the teacher's desk? You might want to consider that. Or should I just lay it out for you in another video? I'll probably have to do that for everyone. But here you go. They have the pencil on the teacher's desk, the paper. It's the same thing. The pentagram, that is the apple, which is the 5-pointed star. It's the same thing. And so you have your preacher and your teacher standing in front of the altar, sitting, talking to everyone sitting down, and they have the answers. They have the answers as the teacher. The preacher has the answers. Right? So everybody sits there and they stare at the front and they stare at that symbol, which is a sigil. And everybody believes the Bible. Oh, the Bible's coming true. Well, what do you think happens in magic? If enough people focus on something, if enough people believe in something, then they create a universe around that magical item. So of course, to the people that are involved in scripture of the Bible, they're reading the script that someone else wrote. They're reading the playbook of someone else. This can happen in any type of magic. This can happen anywhere. And some people come together to make grimoires and make large corporate conglomerations, to make large god forms, to make all sorts of different devices out in nature. Some are participate in nature and do things holistic and healthy and healing towards the planet. Other people don't understand how the magic is being worked. And so these people that are sitting there listening to the Holy Bible, it was written as a script and it's put into people's heads, and then because they're all believing in that and subscribing to that, subscribing, it means to be beneath the scribe, to scribe under, subscribe. So they subscribe to some kind of ideas. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a subscription to something, as long as you know what you're subscribed to and what it's saying. So, all of these people are underneath mind control. But as soon as if they can see this the same way, because they don't like what's going on with the pagans, they don't like what's going on with the demonic, the devilish, the satanic, but it's the same exact thing that's occurring. If you're not the one writing the grimoire, if you're not the Time Lord, if you're not the overseer, if you're not the keeper of the words that have been used for how many, the same words have been used over and over. Chant learning. It's called rote learning. Chant. To rote, to rotate. It's called rota. And so what happens in school, it's called rote learning. I say, then you say back. It's what happens in the church. Church even means circle. So you're circling back around the same thing, staring at that icon, staring at that sigil. So what should the practice be? So in real time, what I'll do here is I'll show you how to just change this, eliminate all of this, make your own sigil, make your own God form. It'll be a short term God idea. It will be a very small something that you'd like to see what happens. And here's what we'll do. I'll make something simple that we can all meditate and focus on and see if you can make that come past to come into your life. It'll be something very simple, and we'll do it from the level of, I'm not going to show you a symbol or a sigil that I make without your knowledge, because that would be unfair, because that would be what's happened to everyone for their entire life. They're staring at symbols and they're wondering why they're hungry for McDonald's. They're wondering why they're fearful of everything, but they've gone to church every Sunday, and the evil apocalypse is coming and everything's dangerous and all of this, and people are wondering why it happens. So if we just lay it out very simply and tell people what's happening, and I show you, we can look at something and say, hey, we can have something simple. See if we can't manifest each individually something simple by something I'll do here. And I'll put it on this page. Like, I'll think about it. Maybe it'll be something like seeing something that you might see on the internet. You're just looking through your Instagram feed, or you're looking on Reddit, or whatever you might be doing, or maybe out in nature you come across something. So I'll do that. We'll pause this here. But the idea here, I hope everybody can see it. It's the same alteration. It's an altar, so it's altering consciousness of people and inserting into their mind a conscious program that dips into their subconscious and hides itself until it manifests. And now we crack the whole thing. And then it's scary because, then you don't know what's going on. It could be anything. But now if you just start writing your own code, you can create anything that you'd like. So here we go. I'll do that right now for you guys. Here we go. We'll make it simple. And so this is, it could happen in the next 10 minutes, the next couple days. But we'll make it simple. It's just so it's believable to a point, and then we can manifest and move on to more complicated things that might be harder to have come across your reality. But if I write out right now, I will, let's say, see a black dog. Now that would be pretty simple. You're not going to see that every day, but if you did see it, it would get you encouraged. If we made it too specific, if I said, I will see a black dog with blue eyes, missing a left foot, for the universe to create that, it's going to take a little more. But for now, we'll start here. So I will see a black dog. And here we go. Here we get rid of the vowels, because the vowels are always vowed to you. This is how it works. You're vowed something. So then we got the W and an L. So we have a W, an L, an S, the E's, and C, and then a B. And then we already have an L, then a C, and a K, and a D, and a G. So there we go. We've accomplished that. So what would we like our symbol, our sigil, to look like that is going to go into our conscious brain, and then it's going to not look like anything, so it turns into something in our subconscious mind, and that subconscious mind throws out information into the universe, or our higher self, our spiritual self. And here's another thing. This is why it's done at night. So this is why if people write their sigils and write their requests at night before they go to bed, because if they're capable of getting out of body, then in their spiritual body they can do things to set things up for their next day, so they actually can manifest what they wrote down. And it also, even if you don't have control of your dream world, and if you're not getting out of body and doing things, well, then it still gives that body time to do that, even though you don't know that it's happening. It's manifesting it for you. So then you wake up and you go, oh, deja vu, that's so weird. Yeah, because that's your memory coming back to you of what you decided to create. So here's what we're going to create. Here's the W. Let's do this. Let's make a W. Okay. And so here, let's make an L. This will be an L. So I like it balanced. And I like to use the S balanced as well. So I'll go somewhere in here with this. There's an S back and forth. And a B. How would we like the B to be? Well, we can do this. And again, we're speaking to the subconscious mind. Oops, there we go. And then we have a C. Do I want to use that part as the C already, or would I like to put another C on there? I guess I could put a little C right here. Put a little crown on that. That might be cool. And then a K. Here's the K. Now, this is a very intricate symbol for seeing a black dog, but nonetheless, I'll use these parts of the B for our D's. And then our G. Oops, what's happened here? Oh. Here we go. Hold on, guys. Okay, here we go. And our last one was this G right here. So to create the G, I think I'll put that inside of this S that I made here. So we're coming here, and let's make that G right there. And like I said, I like to have it balanced. So I'll go right there, and I'll make a G like that. So there's a symbol that will contain this idea from the conscious mind. And now it's put into something so abstract that we can't understand it. Now, what we can do when we make this bigger, and what I'll do is I'll pause this again and I'll show you the next step to this. And if you do this you can do this on the internet, and you can do it with a piece of paper, and you can put it on an altar, and depending on how much energy and charge you want to put into it, here's the next step. I'll get to this and I'll show you right now. Here you go. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, y'all, here's what I did. I earlier made a digital altar. So the kind of things that you would use in the physical realm. You'd have something of all of the 4 elements. You'd have air, fire, earth, and water. So in this sense here, I have got an incense and a couple candles, which would represent the male and the female. And you've got the water. And I got a crystal, and you can put anything you want at your altar, but it's the basic construct is to have the 4 elements, and your voice is going to be the air. So you've got your fire, you've got your water, and the earth would be your incense there that is getting burnt. So I have all of these things here, and here's the sigil that I made. And what I would do, here we go, is take this sigil, and I'll move this sigil to the middle of this here, and maybe expand it. See how big I want to make it. I want that right there. Now I have my point of focus. Now that sigil has become a mandala. Now this could be, every one of these colors here, this is just something that I made. I could place a sigil in each one of these, and that could start to be a clock for me. I could identify with this circle right here as the course of a day, and each one of those things would be maybe hours within a day. I could have 12 events that I'd like to occur. I'd have 12 timestamps that I'd like to put in there, and I could put different sigils and symbols in there. And then I'd look at the middle, and I'd focus on it, and I'd breathe, and I would have intention on it. I would use, now doing this in the physical format, there's all sorts of things you can do to charge a sigil, to charge your clock, to charge your day, your calendar. Now you could use sweat. People talk about using blood. I don't like the idea. You can, but again, I've talked about this at length in many of my videos, because if you have dirty blood, you're not going to be getting back exactly what you want because it's holographic and it's about the energy that's within there. So it'd be much better off using your urine, because your urine is not only sterile, but it's your perfect medicine. It's coming out clean. You could use your urine to charge it. You could use seminal fluid. You could masturbate. You could go and sweat. You could work out with ideas in your mind. Hold on 1 second, guys. So here you go. There's a lesson in real time for everyone, which you don't. This is why an altar in a sacred space is usually done at night, and it's done in quiet. It's done in what's called the dark or the private or the, it's done in secret. And the reason it's done that is like just because of those dogs. So what did I lose? I lost focus on being able to explain something to you. And so you want to maintain focus, and there's times to do that. So as you're charging these sigils, you can use, as they say, blood, sweat, tears. You could use tears to charge something. But again, you're charging it with the mindset, the intent, and the energy of that. So if you're crying and sad about something, that might not be the same level. It might not give you the return that you're looking for. So as we do this on the digital realm here, I can sit here and I can stare at the middle of this and I can focus on it. And you can do that too. And that's saying because you watched me go through it. Now this would be like what would happen for yourself being a magician. But you would write all this out yourself. You're still participating in this. But in a church, what would be happening is you wouldn't know this was going on. You'd be sitting there staring at a symbol of someone on a cross, bleeding, thinking that someone died for you. And wow, that would be, what a pain that would be. Oh man, that guy did all that for me? I must suck. I'm a sinner. I can't, man, I would never do that for anyone. See, it's a whole mind fuck. Now here, so you get away from that. There's no one died for anyone. You're existing right now in this present moment. You can create right now because time doesn't exist. So anything that you'd like to do, you can. The past is done. It's emptiness. And you can do anything that you want going forward. So now here you go. You sit here and you stare at this and you focus. And your intention is, what you wouldn't have when charging a sigil though, is you would, that idea of what it is would vanish. You would just be charging into the idea. And as Neville Goddard talks about, he was a magician as well, but he was doing it from a higher level. He bypassed all of this apparently because he would use his mind and create out of his mind. But we have to understand that the time and place that he lived, the types of things he was ingesting was way different. He was ingesting, the airwaves weren't all clogged up and jammed up, and the water wasn't what it was, and the food wasn't GMO'd, and the environment wasn't as distraught. So and there was no television, he wasn't watching TV every day. I mean, there's a whole different set of frequencies and occurrences that are already jammed into our head that, don't allow us to create out of our mind because we need a amount of focus and attention. So, as I was saying, that's the highest level, and that's what you're aiming for. But these things now give you a way to sit here, and as I was going through my other videos, you can get into a meditation, put your thumb to your index finger or maybe your ring finger and get into a theta breathing pattern. And as you get into that breathing pattern, you're focused on the symbol. That symbol is speaking to your subconscious mind. And then you daze off and go into sleep. Now, if you're very good at that, you could actually walk into that dream. And you could start setting things up and doing things. And then tomorrow, walk that path. And all of a sudden, you'll be surprised to see that, wow, there is that, whoa, holy, wow, that I seen that last night. And those things that you thought were deja vu or synchronicities, you're actually creating them because you wrote them down now. You focused on them. You put it in your subconscious. You went to sleep, dipped into your subconscious mind, and you created your reality. Isn't that fun? And so now that everybody is more aware of that, there would be no reason ever to create a reality that wasn't beneficial to you and someone else. It becomes so simple. And so you'd create something awesome. So once you learn how to do this and you come back and look at my channel, or I come to your channel and you put a symbol out there and we all go, oh, that's going to be something good. Why would it be something harmful? Because anybody knows karma's going to come back and, it's going to serve you. So you don't want that. So here you go. Here's your symbol. Charge it up and see if it actually occurs. See if you see that. And then you can, as you start to do this, you can start to do digital, as I'm doing here. You can make yourself a little digital altar. Maybe I'll put that in my website and give everybody an easy way to just create their own digital etheric, because again, this is just a different style of digital ether. You could create a digital symbol, and you can do that all online. So if you guys would like that, let me know. I think that might be something cool that you could all participate in. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll talk soon, everybody. Cheers.